everybody, and welcome to my fifth video. I'm super excited for this week's theme, which is personalities of the third sex and characters in Hindu scriptures that are part of the Tritiya Prakriti, or the third gender. So before we get into that, I apologize for not posting last week. It was a bit of a tough week for me personally, and so I have resorted to just carrying on this week. I am Arvash Supal, third year student studying international relations. I am a classical dancer, vegetarian, Scorpio, so many aspects about me. And this process of me vlogging has been to express my experiences as a South African, Indian, queer individual. So, this week's theme is personalities of the third sex. When we look at Hinduism, we find that there are various personalities throughout Ramayana, Mahabharata, and various Puranas and Vedas that actually are members of the third sex. When we look at the example of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati as Ardhanareshwar, we come to see this form or this personality who we worship, who is half male and half female. And this is particularly interesting because this specific form of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, or Shiva and Shakti, signifies the aspect of gender and how it shouldn't be taken so out of proportion. Gender is not a huge reason to victimize or degrade someone because their gender is very fluid. We see here a fluidity in this or this personality or form Ardhanareshwar. And that's so interesting because currently we find that everybody within our social circles tries to identify various individuals within the social structures of gender, and particularly male and female. So we find that even in modern times, we find so many individuals being categorized against this framework of gender, which is male and female. And that particularly is kind of interesting because when we look at Hinduism, we find that Hinduism has this third sex. This third sex encompasses or accommodates for individuals who are not necessarily fitted to the male description or the female description and who are fluid in their gender. So, besides Ardhanareshwar, we also have Vishnu, where he takes the form of Mohini Murti, or this male personality who is considered one of the supreme beings, a part of the Trinity Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, to take a female form. So we see this transition from a male personality to a female personality, but both are considered the same soul, the same being, with that much respect being accorded to both forms. So there's Vishnu. And then when we look into epics like Mahabharata, one of the most famous um, epics of Hinduism, and we see there this pastime of Arjuna where he takes a transgender status and he actually becomes this persona known as Brihanala. So she is a male to female transgender woman, and she approaches the court of a king named Virat. And in this, the interaction between the king and Brihanala, who is actually Arjuna, we see that Arjuna's physique is still present, but Brihanala is noted for her feminine charm, for her feminine qualities, and the king engagement with her is so particularly interesting because he accords her the respect of calling her she, because that is the pronoun she identifies as. He accords her that respect. He doesn't treat her inferior to anyone present in the court or even himself. And he even says to his daughter, who Brihanala is to teach, that you accord this woman the same respect as you would a queen. Obviously, understanding the epic of Mahabharata, the presence of kings and queens was prominent in society at the time. So his statement meant you treat this woman with the respect you treat royalty or someone who is more senior to you in age, um, experience and status. So it's very interesting that Brihinala is accorded this respect. It's something we don't see currently, where we find boys who wear makeup being treated differently. As a classical dancer, I've experienced this where my first presentation or my first showcase, I was extremely hesitant to wear foundation or eyeliner or even lipstick. And my guru, my dance teacher, was like, okay, just wear like very minimal eyeliner and you don't have to wear like red lipstick or whatever the case. She made me so comfortable. But I unpacked that experience and I found that it is because of the current standards of masculinity. I felt so uncomfortable with wearing anything associated with makeup. And it's come to a point now where I wear makeup on a daily basis. I'm always with eyeliner, I'm always with eyeshadow or different like lipsticks, and it pushes boundaries within my own circles where I have like my mom's extremely uncomfortable with it. She doesn't like the makeup, she doesn't like the lipsticks more so. But so when I took my experience and I kind of reflected on it and judged it against the standard that's found in Hinduism, where individuals of the third sex were allowed and given the respect in society to be themselves, to express their gender fluidity, to be non binary, to be transgender, and was still given a place, employment, accommodation, facilities to be themselves. And I reflect on modern times, I kind of think society has gone backwards. Because I've shared this in previous videos. I've said plenty of times that if we're going to be copying India, or we're going to, as South African Indians, be holding ourselves to the standards that's found in Hinduism, if we're going to hold ourselves to the standards found in Hindu scriptures and we particularly follow a set part of it, then we should follow everything that's there. Hindu scriptures or Hinduism is so accommodating and so inclusive that it shouldn't be just one aspect that we follow. So when I reflected on this point, I saw personalities in Hindu scriptures who were members of the third sex, and I reflected to people in Hinduism now, practitioners of Hinduistic rituals and traditions and the culture itself, and them being queer, them being gay, them being transgender, them being anything that falls under the LGBT plus community, and feeling isolated and alone doesn't click for me, because it's like, oh my god, we have such a wonderful scriptures. Like, we hear the pastimes of Ardhanareshwar, we hear the pastimes of Mohini Murti, we hear the pastimes of Arjuna as Brihanala, we hear the pastimes of Krishna dressing up as a gopi. And to a certain extent, we are not to imitate these pastimes, because yes, they are of the gods and goddesses. But just as how everything, these supreme beings or these, higher beings perform, and we take messages from it. Like, we'd look at the battle of Kurukshetra and how Bhagavad Gita came, and we'd learn from that. Or we look at the kidnapping of Sita Devi, and we learn from that. There's a message there for us. So similarly, where we find all these lessons in these different acts, we can find lessons in the same pastimes of these supreme beings or higher beings performing such pastimes, taking on a role of the opposite gender, taking on the role of a member of the third sex. And that there is a lesson for us, and that is to respect people who are different, to respect individuals who aren't stuck in this framework of male and female only. There is third sex. I recently was doing some research and I was looking at the aspects of gender in the ancient cultural systems. And it's interesting, India has three known genders: male, female, and members of the third sex. We look at Native Americans, they have 11 different genders. And I got thinking, wow, we historically have societies that were so inclusive of different genders, people who identified themselves in different categories, although I don't like the word, but they did. And they were accepted, they were included, they were a part of the community still, something we don't have now. Members of the LGBT or queer community currently have to fight so hard just for representation. When boys wear makeup, well, like I said, I'm a dancer. When I wear makeup for performing or to temples or any Hindu institute, other males find it a reason or find it opportunity to ridicule or to pass snide comments while I'm passing them, to make funny faces when I'm in their midst. And I see it, I notice it, I engage, like sometimes I engage with it because I wish to take that power away from them. And other times I'm just so defeated by it, I just let it slide. And the thing is, I am one queer individual. And my parents come from this system where there's only male and female, and to be going in between and having this fluidity is something they're also still coming to terms with. But there is a lack of understanding and support. So here I am as a queer child trying to navigate the situation because it's so interesting that even within a religious space, a place where you can connect with the divine, connect with the higher power, higher energy, a higher person, and you still find you're being bullied or objectified or treated differently, and that kind of sucks, in all honesty. So, yeah, like boys who wear makeup. I'm using this example because it is me and it's my experiences that I've gone through. I've received like comments about, oh my God, why do you have to wear so much of makeup? And one of the funniest for me is I was told that boys who do things like this, so wear makeup or dress with hippie pants or be more expressive of gender or their gender norms, are actually looking for attention or seeking attention, and that it doesn't fit into a sane or normal society. And I was like, okay, firstly, I'm not looking for attention. Secondly, I don't care about society and what standards are there for what a boy should be. And that incident made me realize that this is not one person speaking to me because I'm different. This is what the society as a whole thinks of people like me, boys who wear makeup, or girls who dress butch, or girls with short hair, or boys who do dance. There's so many different aspects to it. And today's video is mainly to say that there are personalities in our Hindu traditions who were members of the third sex. Personalities like Lord Shiva, he takes on half a female form. He is Ardhanareshwar, half male, half female. Mother Shakti is the other half. Gender is but a construct of society. However, it can be expressed any way you as an individual would like. And Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, there's so many different personalities that don't take this construct of gender as we do now so seriously, that you're only male and you can only behave in a certain way, or you're only female and you can only behave in a female or feminine way. It's not the case. So that was my little video for today. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and I would really appreciate that. I can't wait to share next week. I am gonna be sharing my coming out story, how I came out to my parents, and this whole notion of actually coming out of the closet. What is it? What does it mean? What does it entail? And I'm super excited. So thank you all for giving me your time.